Samsung didn't announce the Galaxy S26 Ultra like a revolution, and that's exactly why it's dangerous. At first glance, it feels familiar, almost predictable. But once you slow down and start connecting the dots, you realize Samsung didn't chase headlines this year. It quietly rewired the experience in ways that won't scream on day one, but absolutely reshape how this phone feels months later. Welcome back, viewers. Sam here. Like, share, and subscribe for more! Now let's talk about why the Galaxy S26 Ultra isn't trying to impress you instantly, and why that might be the smartest move Samsung has made in years. The first clue shows up the moment you hold it. The S26 Ultra is slimmer than before, coming in at just under 8mm without the camera section. And that tells you Samsung is still obsessed with refinement. The frame is softer, the corners are finally rounded, and the phone feels less like a sharp, edged tool and more like something designed for real hands. Even the S Pen has shifted position and shape, now sitting on the left side to better match the new curves. The weight drops again, landing closer to 214 grams, and after long use, that reduction actually matters more than you'd expect. But then there's the design decision everyone will notice. The separate camera rings are gone. In their place is a full-width camera bar that instantly changes how the phone looks from the back. It ties the Ultra visually into Samsung's broader design language, but it also introduces a compromise. The phone no longer rests flat on a desk, and technically, once you include that bar, it's thicker than last year. Samsung clearly decided that visual cohesion was worth the trade-off, and not everyone is going to agree. The display is where Samsung's real confidence shows up. On paper, it doesn't look dramatic. The size remains massive, the resolution stays razor-sharp, and peak brightness numbers don't jump wildly. But the engineering underneath is where things get interesting. Samsung is moving to a newer OLED generation and removing the traditional polarizer layer entirely. That allows more light to pass through the panel while using less power, making the display more efficient and slightly thinner at the same time. In real-world terms, this could mean better outdoor visibility without punishing your battery, even if the brightness numbers look unchanged. There's also an AI-powered privacy display built directly into the screen, allowing you to narrow viewing angles on demand without any physical filter. That's one of those features you won't think about until you're on a plane, and in a cafe, or sitting next to someone who's a little too curious. There are rumors floating around about deeper color depth and improved dimming behavior, but even the most reliable leakers aren't fully locked in yet. That uncertainty is frustrating and exciting because Samsung may still be holding back a few surprises. One thing you definitely will notice is the front camera cutout. It's larger this year, and yes, it stands out more. But that extra space wasn't wasted. Camera-wise, the S26 Ultra plays a clever game. At first glance, it looks almost identical to last year's setup, which makes it easy to underestimate. But the main camera now uses a wider aperture, letting in significantly more light. That translates to faster shutter speeds, cleaner night shots, and more natural background separation without forcing portrait modes. The 5x periscope zoom also quietly improves, opening up to capture more light and making long-range shots far more usable in low-light conditions. This isn't a flashy upgrade, but it's one that changes how often you trust zoom after sunset. The most controversial move sits with the 3x telephoto. Samsung switches to a new sensor with higher resolution, but the sensor itself is smaller. That means while detail may improve in good lighting, low light performance could take a hit. Considering how often people use this focal length, this is a gamble, and one that software will have to work hard to justify. The front camera benefits from that larger cutout, gaining a wider field of view that makes group selfies and vlogging easier. Autofocus reliability improves too, especially in mixed or dim lighting. It's not headline-grabbing, but it's practical, and Samsung seems to be leaning heavily into usability this year. On the software side, Samsung makes a subtle but meaningful change by shifting default photo output to 24 megapixels. It's a sweet spot that delivers sharper images without the massive storage cost of higher resolution modes. Video creators may also see new professional-grade recording formats arrive, complete with built-in color tools that make editing directly on the phone far more viable. Performance is exactly where you'd expect a flagship to be, but the real story isn't raw speed, it's consistency. The latest Snapdragon chip brings major gains, but Samsung pairs it with a noticeably larger vapor chamber to keep performance stable during gaming, recording, and heavy multitasking. RAM speeds increase as well, making the phone feel snappier even when the numbers look familiar. Charging finally moves forward in a meaningful way. Wired charging speeds jump to 60 watts without needing special cables, and wireless charging gets faster too, with built-in magnets ensuring perfect alignment every time. The trade-off is that reverse wireless charging may quietly disappear, a feature Samsung seems willing to sacrifice for efficiency and cleaner hardware. Battery capacity itself doesn't change, and that's intentional. Samsung is betting on efficiency gains from the display, processor, and software rather than simply adding a bigger battery. Whether that bet pays off is something only long-term use will reveal. In the US and other global markets, the Galaxy S26 Ultra is expected to land firmly in premium flagship pricing territory, and that price demands longevity. Samsung isn't trying to shock you this year. It's trying to convince you this phone will still feel fast, relevant, and reliable years down the line. So now I want to hear from you. Does the Galaxy S26 Ultra feel like a smart evolution, or does it play things a little too safe? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me which change surprised you most. And if you want a deeper breakdown of Samsung's upcoming foldables, and how they connect to this strategy, let me know, because that story gets even more interesting.